Welcome everybody. My name is Michael and today we're discussing about the US government yet again. This time it is how they have stolen, they have taken and probably will not give this money back through safety deposit box. You go to a safety deposit box inside of a bank and you think, you saw this so many times in the movies, you think to yourself, hey, I can leave my Rolex, I can leave my jewelry, my CDs, certificate of deposits with millions of dollars on them. I can put in like 2 million cash, whatever. They're fine, right? Security deposit, because the bank, like who's going to rob the bank, right? And even if they do rob the bank, it's probably insured, right? Yeah, well, wrong. Because the U.S. government can take that money at any time. And then they're going to say some BS and good luck fighting that. And unfortunately, I saw this case on the news and I thought to myself, man, that sucks. Until I found out that there were some cryptocurrency owners inside of those safety deposit boxes and they had their private keys inside. Oh, I get it. You had the right intention, but things didn't really go so well. So let's discuss about this, how this could have been avoided, and whether these poor citizens will be able to get their money back, because roughly $84 million is missing. And the U.S. government does not want to give it back. Let me tell you a fun story. Actually, there's been so many of these cases, but Ferrari F50s, they're pretty expensive cars, especially now. They're going up in value. McLaren F1s, all of these classics from the 80s, 90s, and potentially even further 70s, 60s. Every one of them is going up in value. If it was a Ferrari, a Lamborghini, a Bugatti, all of these pretty cool cars. Well, you had two cases with Ferrari F50s. One was stolen or whatever, and then it was resold. It was stolen in Canada and was resold to a Florida buyer. And that one was seized, and now there's a court case. Who rightfully is the new owner? Was it the person who had it before it was stolen, or was it the new buyer? And unfortunately, I think it's going to go to the new buyer. But there was another Ferrari F50 case. Again, these cars are very expensive, worth over $1 million. And I'm telling you this story just to give you some insight into how the government works. They don't care about you. They're going to do whatever they can to take the money. They're not going to be responsible for it. Good luck fighting them. You're probably going to lose even more money going to lawyers, but on rare cases, you might get somewhere. You might get on the news, probably, but will you get your money back? Maybe a portion of it, if anything at all. Such as this second Ferrari F50 case where it was seized and the FBI agent in charge of driving it crashed it. And then the insurance tried to get their money back. The owner, this is $1 million car right there. And the government claims no responsibility and the insurance lost their case. Oh, yeah, that's crazy. The appeals also were rejected. How do you win? How do you win against the U.S. government if they own everything? They own the Supreme Courts. They own the entire justice system. You're not going to win. Some people are going to say, oh, it's against my constitutional rights. Listen, you still have a better chance of winning in America than in some other non-democratic countries. But if the government really wants money, you're going to lose that money. And this is why we're in cryptocurrency, because we have a slight mistrust of the government. I'm not saying the government's bad, but there have been cases, in history at least, where the government's done some pretty shady stuff. I mean, just with the U.S. government, we can look at the Iran-Contra deal. In South America, how they were helping build banana republics and they were destroying countries and placing dictators, arresting people for selling illegal substances while at the same time the CIA is selling substances. But we're not going to get into too far territory here because, we're going to still keep this kid-friendly and all that. Selling weapons to people they shouldn't have. For example, giving weapons away to a certain group in Afghanistan and other countries that were trying to fight the Soviets, and then, whoa, lo and behold, you have made a new group of enemies that are now using those exact same weapons that you gave them against you. Great. So there's been some pretty interesting ideas we've had in the past. Also, if you look into MK Ultra and all that stuff. Anyways, we're in cryptocurrency. We kind of want to be decentralized, away from it all, off the grid, at least partial. And there's something that, I'm going to miss things like mac and cheese if I move abroad, but every single government on this planet has some issues with this. Some are even worse, so it's not just a US thing. But in cryptocurrency, if it's not your keys, you don't own the Bitcoin, you don't own the cryptocurrency. What happens if in this case you give your keys away in a safety deposit box. Well, again, you're not going to be able to access it. And if the US government has access to it, they might be able to do whatever they want with that cryptocurrency. And in certain cases, if they seize it, they might just sell it immediately because they want the money from it. And you might lose all on the opportunity cost that even if in the future you might be able to claw that money back somehow, maybe the Bitcoin or whatever other altcoins they had would be worth even more now. So many Bitcoiners recommend storing seed phrases in safety deposit boxes. It's not like it's a foreign concept. The FBI took their safety deposit box and everything inside of it. 2 months later, they're still waiting for it to be returned. And they're one of many people. On March 22nd, there was an FBI raid in a Beverly Hills business. Inside the safety deposit box they rented at U.S. private vaults in Beverly Hills, California, Jennifer and Paul Snitko kept the sort of things that any law-abiding American might want to store securely. A will, backup copies of their home's computer hard drive, and some family heirlooms including jewelry, a fancy watch, and a class ring. You already know where this is going. The Snitkos are not criminals. They've not been charged with any crimes. During his career as an aerospace engineer, Paul even held several security clearances. But since March 22nd, they've been treated like criminals. The Snitkos' valuables have been in the possession of federal prosecutors following an FBI raid that resulted in hundreds of safe deposit boxes being seized, despite the fact that the warrant authorizing the raid explicitly forbade federal agents from conducting a criminal search or seizure of the contents of the safe deposit boxes, quote unquote. But the FBI did not merely seize the safety deposit boxes housed at U.S. private vaults. Federal agents then proceeded to search each and every single box, even brazenly tearing open sealed envelopes and rummaging through the belongings found inside. More than 2 months after the raid, the Snitkos and other innocent people who have had their stuff taken have no idea whether it's going to be returned. When you've done nothing wrong, you shouldn't be subjected to an investigation, says Paul Snitko. That the federal government broke open our safety deposit box was shocking, and that we have no idea when we'll get our property back is infuriating. On Friday, just hours after the Snitkos filed a lawsuit with help from the Institute of Justice, a libertarian law firm, challenging what they say was the FBI's unlawful seizure of their safety deposit box, they finally got some good news, sort of. According to the Institute for Justice, the couple received a phone call from the FBI informing them that they should have their property returned in about 2 to 3 weeks from now. As of Friday afternoon, 2 other clients represented in the same lawsuit have not received similar phone calls. The unsealed warrant authorizing the raid of U.S. private vaults granted the FBI permission to seize the business's computers, money counters, security cameras, and nests of safety deposit boxes, the large steel frames that effectively act as bookshelves. However, the actual safety deposit boxes, according to the FBI procedures, well, they were required to take them into custody as well because of the bookshelves. It's just a technicality, right? Federal prosecutors have charged U.S. private vaults with several crimes, including conspiracy to commit money laundering, and earlier this week filed forfeiture motions against roughly 400 of the nearly 1,000 safe deposit boxes in the raid. So this time, it's the actual company. It's the actual company that is just a money laundering operation or whatever other criminal aspects they've done. See, for example, right now, family has some things in storage boxes. It's nothing big, but, we're rebuilding a home, so obviously furniture and some things of values. Not super expensive, but things of value because, there's sentimental value. It would suck to lose that. Even something that's not worth that much, just sentimental value. But losing your Bitcoin, losing your cryptocurrency, Federal agents were supposed to identify the box's owners so property taken in the raid could be returned. In many cases, that was as easy as checking the documents that were taped to the boxes. But instead, legal filings showed that investigators brazenly rifled through the boxes. Like other victims of the raid, the Snitkos also had identifying information attached to the lid of their safe deposit box. It is an egregious violation of their Fourth Amendment rights, while the FBI's continued retention of their property represents both Fourth Amendment and Fifth Amendment violations. A senior attorney with IJ says, it's like the government breaking into every apartment in a building because the landlord was dealing illicit substances in the lobby. Someone commented, anything with your name on it can be the target of a court order or warrant. Targets can include your home, furniture, personal papers, electronics, car, boat, safe deposit box, post office box, bank account, brokerage account, and even your physical body, an arrest warrant. The horrible thing is that law enforcement routinely screws up. They raid the wrong house, seize the wrong property, or even, cause the death of the wrong suspect. American cops are known for being incompetent, corrupt, and sometimes downright silly. If you want to absolutely protect your cryptocurrency, then the wallet and keys must be in a secure location, completely disconnected from you by any paper trail, and not in a safe deposit box. Did you ever see the movie Shawshank Redemption? Do you recall how Morgan Freeman's character digs up a small box hidden underneath a stone wall on a hillside in the middle of nowhere? That's what you need. Someone else stated, my theory is the FBI messed up and mixed items together from the raid. Aside from named documents, valuables, and other items, probably they're all in one container and nobody really knows what belongs to who. Since the raid was probably signed, I believe that suspects they were after probably owed most or all of the boxes. Someone said, you could be creative of where to keep a piece of paper safe. I wrote 12 words in different pages of my favorite book titled How to Translate from Klingon. Interesting. Settle down there. If it wasn't a safe deposit box, the FBI would have happily taken it from your home safe or somewhere else you stored it. These boxes remain rather dependably secure from government confiscation. This is a rare instance. Again, the FBI will gladly take it from your house too and incapacitate you if you resist. So that's that. What would you do in this situation? Let me know down in the comment section below. Don't store your cryptocurrency in a safe deposit box. Store it somewhere out in the middle of nowhere. No internet connection, and know exactly where it is. Don't forget. Don't lose track of it. Because hello, that's how you end up on the news later on. You're missing millions of dollars. Thanks so much for watching today's video. We hope that you have enjoyed it, and join us for more coming up in the next week. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day. Channel monetization is just a short while away. Can't wait for that. Have a great one. Bye. Enjoy summer. Stay safe.